see you again, Tino. Again. Remember me, Rigo. This is my friend Luis. This is my friend Horacio. And the cameraman over there is Ronaldo. Thank you for taking your time for setting up this interview with us and helping us out. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? How you guys doing?
Good, pretty good.
What's the interview?
Just to learn about you and learn about your career again. Yeah. How'd you get started? Like, what age did you start playing?
We started. My dad used to coach adult leagues here in Long Beach, and we used to always go and play in the back. And this guy saw us playing, me and my brother, and he was like, "Oh, you should take your kids to the Wilmington League." And my dad finally took us. I probably started like at 4 or 5, but when I first got on the team, I was 7. And then from there, from 7 to like 12, I was playing older with my brother. And then that's when I started playing club after that. And just played club from 12 to 18, same club team, NHB. And then I came here. We're actually here at Milliken High School, where I'm an alumni of, and I played here 4 years on varsity, and then went to Compton College for a year. Then from there transferred to UC Santa Barbara. And then from there, my playing career took.
How old were you when you, like, I kind of looked you up and I found out that you took your ACL? Like, so when was it, like, the first time?
First time it was my going into my junior year, so 2001. So I was 15. First tore my ACL. Actually, I tore it again when I was 21. And that was when I was in Santa Barbara. And then I had another knee surgery on my right meniscus. This was in 2008. So yeah, man, I've been beat up.
Did tearing your ACL set you back from your career goals?
It set me back because obviously growing up, my dream was I'm gonna be a professional soccer player. And an injury like that takes you out for a whole year, and when a doctor tells you that you might not be the same player, right? That kind of sets you back because you're thinking, well, the doctor who knows best is telling me that I'm not gonna be the same player. That's gonna hurt my chances of what I'm doing now. And so, sorry about that. And so yeah, that definitely mentally set me back. But then once I started doing the rehab and started seeing kind of the results and me getting back, then I was right back on track.
When you got better after the ACL, you were in college, right? Or were you?
I was my junior year, so I still had my senior year here.
Or did you have your scholarships or?
I had a couple. Well, no, nothing taken away because I hadn't committed to anything. So it was kind of timing was also good because I wasn't committed anywhere, and it was still enough time for me to get back and play a whole year, and I'll get back to the level I was at.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in your time that you didn't think about playing soccer anymore?
Well, I mean, during that year, I was, what else am I gonna do? And that's why education has always been there. Not so much as a backup plan, but something that's gonna give me a career in the future because you could only play for so long.
What was your motivation? Because in 2003 you were in 26 games and you started in 6 of them, and then in 2007 you started in all of them. Like, what was your motivation, or how'd you go from starting to 6 to starting in all?
Well, I mean, it's a combination of things. Obviously, people graduate and they kind of, people that have been part of the program and are doing well. So sometimes you got to wait your time, and that's kind of what I kind of did. I kept working, I kept pushing, I kept trying to get better, and just waiting for my time. And even though those games, I started a couple games, but those games, I made sure that coach was watching me and like, this is a guy that I'm definitely going to be using. And so I kept training, didn't get upset, didn't get down, didn't stop working, and I think ultimately just kind of stayed positive and knew that if I kept doing what I was doing, at some point I was going to be given my time.
What college did you go to again?
UC Santa Barbara.
How'd you get accepted? Because of your soccer or because of your education?
Well, obviously the interest was because of, they wanted me to play soccer there, but obviously I had to get all the education, like all my classes, had to get cleared by the NCAA, and then because I did go to Compton Community College for a year, I actually had to make sure that I completed a certain amount of units before I could transfer. So during that whole year, my focus obviously was to do well in the season, but but even if I did well and I didn't I didn't get all the units required, I would have never transferred. So that's why education is important.
Did you get a get your time management? Did you get to arrange your time wisely for education and just soccer?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, you don't really have too many responsibilities. Thankful to my parents who always worked hard and provided food at home, and not where I had to, kind of work from. So I was always able to kind of focus, whether it was school, training, study, or whatever order it went. There was always time for all three.
In high school, did you take honors and AP classes?
I took a couple honors classes. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I know I did well in math. And history was not so well in science, but I did well. Just didn't get to AP or honors.
Were you like smart or you were average enough to pass your classes?
I mean, I had to work a little bit more than maybe others in some subjects, but I got help if I needed it. I stayed and asked teachers questions if I had them. I just made sure that, I was making sure that my grades were, decent B's.
In Compton Community College, how many classes did you take in order to go to UC Santa Barbara?
So I ended up doing a summer and then 2 semesters. So kind of a year in that summer. Can't remember how many units you need to be able to transfer. There's units and then certain classes that you need to take to transfer. Especially if you're trying to do it after 1 year. Because sometimes if you go after 2, you need your associates, which is more credits, more classes. I was just trying to do 1 year, and that way I would have more playing years at UC.
Why did you decide to return to Milligan and be the head coach of the varsity soccer team?
Actually, our boys' head coach, who I play for and have a good relationship with, he was like, the girls are looking for a coach, and that was something. I was still going in between seasons, so I was still traveling, but it worked out because during my off season, the winter season, that's when high school season is here. So the first 2 years that I coached was like 2010, 2011. I was just a varsity coach, and I would come, coach, train them, and then I would take off. And then finally, last season, I finally came back, and I was like, I want to settle and get stable here at home, and that's when I was offered the whole program. And what better to do it at a school that you want.
In college, what degrees did you get? What'd you master?
I got it was in Spanish literature, a bachelor's in Spanish literature. I also worked on a minor in sports management. And then now I'm in a credential in conjunction with the master's in education. So I'm trying to get my teaching credential with a master's.
In your career, if you could change one thing, what would you change? Yeah.
That's a good question. If I could change one thing, I would say my off season preparation. I mean, obviously, if I could change one thing, I would have never got injured, right? But things that I could control, it would be my off season preparation going into the next season. And you come home and it's easy to hang out and it's easy, to not eat well, not take care of your body. And then now you get going into preseason and your body's catching up, where you should be kind of preparing. And so I think I would have prepared myself better for each season during the off season.
When you were season, did you ever think like you didn't want to play soccer anymore and wanted like focus on education first?
Not that I thought I don't want to play soccer anymore, but I knew at some point that, I was going to have to do something else. So I always looked at options, and I started my credential and master's online. So I was able to, do my class, my homework, and still train and still play during season. So I was always thinking, what do I do after? I didn't want to be done playing and be lost and not know what was next for me. So I always try to prepare for what was next.
What advice would you give someone like in our age right now?
Stay hungry, keep working. Don't get down. Not that. Yeah, no, just stay positive and work. I think success. I always think success comes from preparation and luck, but you prepare yourself to get lucky, right? So I've gotten lucky throughout my whole career, but I've also worked extremely hard to get what I have. So definitely preparing yourself for those opportunities. So you got to stay positive. You got to stay hungry. You got to want it more, even when things are down. You just got to keep working.
Are you happy right now with your career?
I am. I'm happy. I was able to travel, meet good people, to get educated, to learn many things through sports. So yeah, I'm happy. I love coaching now, and still playing when I can. But yeah, I'm happy. Everything that soccer has given me, pretty blessed.
What's the best part about coaching?
Best part about coaching, you would think winning, which I always want to win, and it's nice. But just seeing you make a difference in people's lives, because everyone's in different situations, whether it's economic, whether it's single parent, just everyone's in different situations, and the main thing is trying to make a difference and make an impact in someone's life. I think that's the most rewarding part about coaching.
So you retired?
Thanks.